Hi guys, welcome to the stream. It has been, it seems like... Hi guys, welcome to the stream. Bear with me. It has been, it seems like... Hi guys. Hi guys. That was a bit off. Seems like we might have it now. So guys, welcome to the stream. Sorry I haven't been streaming this week. A few things have taken place that I didn't allow for. I didn't plan on. I didn't think were going to happen. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details, but it was definitely not good at all. But I'm back, feeling quite good. As good as I can be. Lee, how's it gone, mate? Nice to have you here. Yep, I'm doing a lot better. I just need to sort my positioning out. This has been like the worst nightmare week. It's been a pretty nightmarish week. Thank you, sir. Glad to have you here. Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. It's been a worse week than I expected to have. Everything, if it could have went wrong this week, it did go wrong this week. So from the kind of obscure, I'll take us to the tower. From the obscurity of my chair breaking. It's ridiculous. I've had this chair for quite some time, and I like it, but it broke, so I'm having to make do with. So that was the small thing, and then I've been feeling off all week, feeling really tired, really early, which is, most people that know me know when that happens is normally something wrong. If I'm asleep for like before 9 o'clock, and then I had a major thing happen last night, where I eventually ended up having to phone the ambulance. I won't go into details of it. It ended up, the ambulance never came out. It's ridiculous. So I suffered in relative silence. Felt a lot better this morning. But yeah, not great. Not great whatsoever. So that is, I'm going to turn the sound up a little bit so you guys can hear the sound a little bit. I don't want it too loud. I just want you guys to be able to register some sound until I get messed about with the audio and we can get some music going or something, because this whole it being silent bar my voice isn't good, right? It's not good. But that's the point of these streams. The point of these streams is to get everything going together before I choose where I'm going to stream in the future. So, if anybody's wondering why my account is so low, it's because I'm building my PlayStation account. I'm only ranked 14, as you can see. Quite low on power. Oh, that's higher. You know you're low on power when your blues are higher than your legendaries. I will infuse some stuff when I need it. I haven't been on my PlayStation account in, it seems like, quite a long time. So I decided to come onto this just for a little challenge, just to challenge myself, which brings me on to a subject that I feel is quite close to my heart, if you like, which is the whole of Destiny. At the moment, it just feels what's the best way to put it without sounding like a whiny kind of snowflake? I feel as if at the moment Destiny has lost some of its depth. I feel like it seems like Bungie is more prepared to accept mediocrity, short-term events, no longevity, which for a lot of people might be good. I mean, it might be good. It's not. I don't think it's the way to go. I think depth and engagement will always ring truer than these fast and furious seasons where the seasonal pass blueprint, I don't think is working. I don't think it's working whatsoever. I think there's a lot of work to be done. I just don't think it's living up to its billing. If you want, where do you want to start? You know, play the game the way you want to play it. That's not really what's happening. The exotics, I feel, are lackluster. I feel that Arma 2.0 is a little bit of a wasted opportunity. I feel like the way it's been implemented is not great. You sum all those up together, and what you're left with is a situation where the game just feels like, after, I feel like I'm back in D2 year 1 after the first week or two, a couple of weeks of grind. Yeah, we are getting drip fed. A little bit the content. But so we know we've still got stuff to come. But let's be honest, how many times can you actually run through the sundial and be kept engaged? I mean, the new exotic, the Devil's Ruin. Man. Now, it is what it is, right? The Devil's Ruin is what it is. It's not supposed to be, you know, a superstar exotic. But it's an exotic. We've got too many lackluster exotics. There are too many that aren't. Why would you use them? Where would you use them? You know, there's too many exotics in the game that are already mediocre. And I put it down to quite a bit. I put it down to the fact that mods had come in and mods could do the job. They could do the job of, you know, a percentage of the exotics that we had in the game. So the exotics were built and conceived, many of them, especially the year one stuff, during a time where mods and random rolls and all the stuff, you know, lucky pants and all those type of things, they were conceived during a time where we didn't have mods and we didn't have random rolls. Now, I feel like we're left in an environment where the seasonal weapons and the seasonal pass has, it's delivered, it's just delivered stuff that just, I don't think enhances the gameplay or enhances the experience. And if you're not enhancing the experience with your seasons, then what's the point of the season? If you're not enhancing the experience, what is the point in having seasons? There is no point in having seasons. And, oh, I messed that up, man. Should have had that on. So, I was left in a dilemma of not just should I log on every day, but I was left in a dilemma of what am I going to do if and when I log on every day. Because it just didn't feel like there was anything to... There doesn't feel like there's... So, we're in the tower now, right? Hello, tower. This is the main pursuit. It's right here.
Let's get started.
Doing these bounties is the main pursuit. Why is this the main pursuit? Very simple. It's the main pursuit because when you look at your destination map, to gain power, you have a couple of pinnacle rewards to do per week. Not everybody's doing those pinnacles. You know, so if you're not doing the pinnacles,
I missed you all so much.
then your way of getting power is literally from leveling up, from doing bounties and stuff, right? I'm just kind of messing about with the title and stuff for the video. I'm going to upload. I created a thumbnail as well for this stream, which I haven't done in a long... I don't think I've ever done, have I? So let's go to pictures. So I want public. So yeah, so I feel as if Destiny's went awry slightly, and I'm not sure if they're aware of it. I'm not sure that they're really on the ball. So, and how can they be? How can they really? How can they be on the ball when how can they be on the ball when they keep making these same errors? I mean, these are the same errors we made in D1 and D2 year one. And it's
Did you miss me?
yeah.
My life.
So I'm just going to, again, we're just leveling and chatting, so I'm I don't like to be so down when it comes to Destiny, because, well, I love playing Destiny. I don't feel as if I'm being down on the game. I feel like I'm being very honest about what the game represents at this moment in time. And I feel like it's not giving me what I want. I don't think it's providing the challenge. It's not providing the experience. How can it with these kind of small, intense kind of seasons with such lackluster exotics? And I mean, okay, the new one, Devil's Rune, I actually have it, and it's that exciting that yeah, 100%. Whilst the content is here, I don't know what they can do, if they can do anything at all. You know, what? But how do they move forward? How do they change this? Do we keep the seasonal model and hope that they can finally start giving us content that inspires us, that challenges us, and gives us stuff to do on a more regular basis? Is that how they approach this, or do they change it and go back to the DLC route? Now, there's a couple of points here that need to be spoke about. They went to the seasonal model because it was too much work to create the content they were creating, and maybe that is the case. Next to have you here, man. Yeah, there has to be. That's a great way of putting it. That is an absolutely cracking way of putting it. That this is just like a makeshift, easy content. Maybe not so easy, but to make, should I say? But you know, they're not having to. That the format that they seem to be putting out is like wave defense, two exotic quests, a heap of bounties, a seasonal event. What I'm saying is the ingenuity. They're not having to employ a lot of ingenuity to come up with this. We're not talking about, you know, the intricacy and, you know, all that type of stuff. I think, yeah, I just don't. My point is, Nick, and I'm not saying, because when it comes to opinions, how can anybody be wrong? You can't be wrong. It's your, it's everybody's own opinion. But after, now let's see, where did we start with this? In D2, I really start. Escalation, forges. You can just keep going. The Reckoning, Sundial. All these things are just like wave defense with an objective. Yeah, 100%. 100%. The ingenuity needs to be, and whilst I totally agree, and as I'm not someone that bashes the game, because I don't, because I love the game, I'm making observations more than anything else. Whilst I'm happy enough to say, okay, so you're putting this stuff out for us, which is fair enough. You're putting this stuff out for us, so that we've got obviously stuff to do and to keep us semi engaged over the space of a season. Whereas I don't feel even 50% as engaged as I was last year. And I know that this is a smaller, more intense kind of blueprint. I still feel like Shadowkeep right through. I think Shadowkeep right through the actual base game and the story, and I felt was quite small. I feel like I was done with it quickly, and I don't mean I finished everything. I mean, I'm done with this. It's not engaging. I feel like, the Forsaken story was a lot more engaging. Yes, I know that the DLC was bigger, and they already said this was going to be a Rise of Iron style of DLC, so it was never meant to be massive. I think if someone was to ask me to classify Destiny's gameplay, I would say that the Destiny's gameplay is at its best. Right now, you do have move through, objective, clear ads, move through, objective, clear ads, bigger room with the bigger enemies, clear them, can't move forward until you've done this, then you hit a boss. But Destiny's gameplay is at its best when the lore and the story support it. When you do stuff and it's like at the end you get a payoff with some sort of little pearl or little diamond or little addition to the story, to the lore. Destiny isn't all about what's, look at this gun, it comes with a great roll, it kills at a decent pace, a decent distance, its DPS is good. It's not. That is a decent part of the game, but it's nowhere near everything the game is. The game for me is about learning about the universe, and the weapons are part of it, the exotics are part of it, your setup is part of it, but then you're building a character. But for me, this game is more of a building game than it is an action MMO, because you build, everything that you're going for, everything you're creating is for everything: strikes, raids, crucible, gambit, patrols, quests, missions. You're building a character to be equipped to do all of that. Now, whereas I don't really, having said that, I go after mods and I go after stuff like that, obviously, and good rolls on the armor and stuff. But I'm not one of these guys that's like, right, I've got a full armor set for Crucible, let's go, because it's going to make me play better. It probably would help, but I don't think it's going to make you play better, just you'd be more efficient, right? But one of the biggest problems with the game at the moment, and it's not Can I get away with saying I'm not complaining about this? That's definitely a way to go, yeah. Have the world around be more challenging. Yeah. Well, they spoke about that they wanted to. I mean, I'm trying to remember exactly when that was. When they spoke about now you can die on patrol missions. I think it was in Rise of Iron. And but Destiny 2 has been dumbed down. The experience has been dumbed down. And is that a good or a bad thing? That's for everybody to decide for themselves. From the standpoint of the game in general, yeah, but it was fun, right? There was a lot of too harsh by the looks of things. Yeah, that's. But what I think with the plague lands, the plague lands are a great example because it was a new area for us, somewhere we could go. But it was also, if you like, it was refurbished content, but it was engaging. Yeah, the Dreaming City was rough, man. That was rough. But you were underleveled, very. But I don't think that, if you're being honest, I don't think the Dreaming City, because there were definitely points in it where if you were just a little bit too lax, you could die. You know, I'm probably over. I'm over. Yeah, you're right. It was funly. It was good fun. Definitely. I just felt like there was more. So when you say Rise of Iron, you look at what we got in Rise of Iron. Shattered Throne, definitely, for my money, better than Pit of Heresy. I think it, but again, it feels like, you know, I feel as if the whole thing about Shadowkeep. Shadowkeep's such a great name. It implies something. It's more than just the name. It just implies that this is, you know. Wow. And then Shadowkeep, when you do it, sorry, when you go into Shadowkeep and you start playing it, and after you finish with it, you're like, oh man, I was hoping that this Scarlet Keep would be more than just a strike. Although I don't want to belittle the fact that it's a strike, because it's nice to get strikes. It's nice to get new strikes, something Bungie seems to have forgot. But I don't know, when it was like at the end, it was like, oh, you know, we've heard you. We're not your friend. We're not your enemy. We're your salvation. It was like, really, another cliffhanger. The great thing about exactly, yeah, exactly. That would have been, and have all that mystery, all that. I mean, the Scarlet Keep area is quite big, so I'm not sure if we'd have got all of that, but I would have liked it. I would definitely liked it. I felt like the moon, when I went back to the moon for about 7 minutes. I was like, this is really cool, and then I'm exaggerating. For a couple of days, I was like, this is pretty cool. I remember this, and I remember, well, that's slightly different, but that's still in the same place, and then after about a week, I was like, I kind of done this for 3 years. I would like something new. I know we've got a new area, but I would have liked a new area totally on the moon. Take us to another part of the moon, like what they've done with Mars. You know, there is a precedence for it in Destiny already. Let's go to another area on Mars. So, but again, I don't want to be super critical, because you know, from that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I feel as if we slightly got, everybody got caught up with just a little touch of nostalgia. It was like, oh, the moon. They're linking this game finally to D1, and then the minute they do it, it's like, oh, I done this in D1. I'm not sure I'm ready to do this for another, you know, I mean, even seeing the moon there, should it not be over there, but even seeing the moon there, it's like, I'm looking at it, and because I'm doing my profile on PlayStation, yeah, it's it's just I mean, the Dreaming City is gold, as far as I'm concerned. As an area and as a place to go, it's beautiful. It's unlike anywhere else in the game. It's got mystery. It's got secrets. You know, it was the first time we actually got lost sectors that were a bit more than, you know, they'd done a little bit more with the lost sectors. And just to show you, kind of, yeah, there's not a lot to do in them. There is not a lot to do in them. You are correct. But when Shadowkeep come out and they brought out those kind of lost sectors, even though that, you know, there was a couple of them that were like, oh, this is long. I didn't feel as engaged. So after a while, it becomes like, this is a trek. And the fact that there is a bounty that makes you go around all the lost sectors every week, I very quickly become bored with it. Yeah, but I think the great thing about the Dreaming City is we never had any of that story, any of that lore. You know, the moon, it's like, oh, it's Eris time again. And a lot of it we've had before. And I don't know how much, you know, it seems like they've took on board that we were quite happy with Toland. And, well, the truth of the matter is, Toland hasn't really, for me, added a lot to the story. You know, it's like, remember that guy that gave you, you know, the hive tablets and stuff like that? Yeah, the crazy hive guy. Well, you can speak to his soul now. You know? The Dreaming City gave you, even right down to the music, if you listen to the music going through the Dreaming City, the mystique of the music is phenomenal. You know? It really does add, some of the pieces of the music really do add.
Once more unto the breach.
You know, adds a little bit of
Good choice.
I want to say je ne sais quoi, but not quite. Just a little bit of mystique, a little bit of you know, you really felt like you were in a different, you know, the music really kind of made you feel like you were in a different world. I 100% agree. I think they're micromanaging Destiny 2 at the moment. You know? And, hey, if that's what they're doing, right, I personally would like just even the smallest inkling, the smallest sliver of transparency on that. I would like them just to come out and say, right guys, this is kind of the road plan, because they haven't even mentioned D3. And that really surprises me, because they've got to go elbow deep with D3. So the fact that this season pass thing could go on for another year. We could get another small piece of content and more lackluster seasons. I'm not sure. When they went back to the moon, and just to add to your point here about them going back to the moon, when they went back to the moon, I feel like now I watched all the Vidocs and stuff like that, and now we've had this content for a number of months. I feel like the stuff that they were showing us in the Vidocs is like, you know, finishers are massive. They're such a big part of the game. They can do this and they can do that. And now having it's like, all right, so it's just like a melee. You know, we had all those cutscenes and all that stuff for a melee. If I'd have known what it was then, I would have been worried. I would have been worried about Shadowkeep. If that's what they're choosing to, you know, shout about. The fact that they've got a melee. The exotics. I'm glad that you pointed that out. I don't have a problem with it, even when they went independent. I don't have a problem with them wanting to sell things, especially when you look and a lot of those things can be earned. It'll take you longer, but you can earn them. I think in the Dawning there was like a couple of things that if you wanted them you had to buy them, but everything else could be earned. And the case in point is, I actually earned one of the ships in the last Dawning, and it wasn't in my inventory this time, and I was quite annoyed. So I bought it. I actually paid money for it because it was my favourite ship in the whole game, which was my fault because the next week they were selling it for Bright Dust. So it was my fault for rushing in and going, oh, I better buy that. And the next week I was like, oh man, I could have just bought that for Bright Dust. I wasn't too bothered because I still had the Bright Dust. And it never cost me an arm and a leg. And I play this game every day. So I don't have a problem if you know, if people want to spend their money. It's when if they ever made stuff that we needed or would give you, you know, pay to win type of stuff. And I know some people have tried to say, well, you know, barrel length and all this type of stuff. A load of rubbish. They do not make you buy stuff that will make you play any better. So if people want to spend their money on cosmetics, they should be allowed to, and it shouldn't be an issue. And when you get Bungie coming out and being transparent and saying, listen, we know that we ask you to buy stuff. Gucci, man. How you doing, Ewan? You good, man? Yeah, if people want to spend their money, then that's all good, you know. But as I say, when Bungie come out and be transparent and say, yes, we do charge you money for things, we know we're going to charge you money for things, but take into, and this is an actual thing that they said, when the Whisper of the Worm came out, they released 2 skins through Eververse. And I personally bought one of them. I don't buy that much in the game, to be fair. I know I've just spoke about 2 things I've bought, but trust me, that's probably the only 2 things I've ever bought in D2. I bought a skin for the Whisper, which made it look like Touch of Malice, which I loved that weapon because I loved King's Fall in D1. And I bought that ship. Well, people that bought the skins for the Whisper of the Worm, the money they made from the Whisper of the Worm went to developing 0 Hour. Without the sales of that, we wouldn't have had the 0 Hour quest. I personally think that it should be everybody's own right. You know, it's like when I see these quite a lot when people say, "Hey Alice, how you doing? Is that a less? Is that a less?" Ivory, that is absolutely perfect. If you want to put money down on the game, to look, I use your words yeah, exactly. I'm not saying anybody has a problem with it, but to use your words, Ivory, if people want to put money down to look Gucci, that's, you know, I used to have a friend in D1 that literally used to put 50 quid on silver every month. And not because he's seen stuff he wanted to buy, just so that he had that there in case he wanted to buy it. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. That's yeah. Is that the final shapes or the unfinal shaped ship? Is that the one you're on about? I might be wrong. The Eris one. I see where you're coming from, and it's to be fair, Nick. It's an older. It's not the right word. It's a well kind of spoken about argument that there are some stuff that should be earned in the game as opposed to being sold through Eververse. I don't know if you're ever gonna, you know. I don't know if I think you get decent rewards. I think that let's not talk about the Nightfalls, right? Because everybody that's here hopefully knows that I do guides on the Nightfalls, and so my kind of thing is doing solo challenges, and I think they've absolutely destroyed the Nightfall from the perspective of being an enjoyable, engaging challenge. I don't think it is anymore. I think actually the old style of Nightfall, if you'd have took out heavyweight from the Five of Swords, or the you know, the scorecard, you'd have had more of an engaging experience. I think the champions. No, that's not true. The champions would be fine if the seasonal pass wasn't so restrictive of the weaponry you had to use to do it. Because I feel like I'm right back to D2 Year 1 double primary and heavy. Except now, I'm double primary, they're dictating which primaries I need to use, and they're also dictating what heavy I need to use. Because not only do I have champions that I've got to use certain weapons to take down, but I've also got match games, so I've got to cover all the burns. It's a muddy pool, in my estimation. It's a muddy pool, but that's just my thing on Nightfalls. I have a kind of plan, an idea. I've been kind of messing about with this idea for a couple of months. I've had this idea in my head, and I would feel remiss if I didn't share it with you guys. Once I close my window, that is, because it's absolutely freezing in here now. Window closed, heat restored. As I think on the same kind of what you were saying there, Nick, about rewards being put into Eververse when there could be actual rewards for beating a piece of content. I think some of the best weaponry in the game, exotics especially, are locked in the raids. And not everybody gets the opportunity to raid. I myself, it's annoying that I haven't beat the new raid. I find it quite annoying. But the divinity looks like it would be a very strong weapon to do certain activities with, and I believe that I'm a strong enough player to complete that. You know, it's the only raid I haven't beat. There are reasons for it, but you can't do some of these reasons. You can't do anything about. So I think the ability to have matchmaking that you can choose. Now, let's take into consideration they've just brought in this heroic sundial. For people that play on their own, they're going to have to LFG. They're going to have to go out of the game to find players to play with in the game.
Let's take a look.
Don't you worry about it, Ivory. I'll be your friend. That sounded creepier than I wanted it to sound. I apologise for that. There's a lot of people out there, Ivory, that have the same issue with getting fire teams. Getting 6 people on together can be at the same time. I mean, I run my own clan, and sometimes getting 6 people on, and we're 20 odd deep, and getting 6 people on at the same time can be tough. I reckon. So I went back to Orbit so I can kind of show you as opposed to explain. So, see where you go to Open Director, you go to Crucible, and you go Private Match, right? Well, more than just choose matchmaking. What about if you could do something like this? So you're in Orbit. You've got your tower. Well, there is a way around this. There is a way. Right. So while I'm explaining this, I'll just give you my take on this first. If you have matchmaking for raids, you kind of mess with people's time, because if you get someone that's just matchmaking, I can just go in and find another team, and there's people going to be jumping in and out all the time. Now, not everybody's going to do that, but you are going to have people that are going to treat it like, it's nothing. It takes that little edge away from the raid. Whereas, if you had something like the tower, let's say it was here, or wherever you want on the map. It could be another variation of the tower. And just like private matches, you could select an option here. You've got game options and you've got game type, right? You could select raid, mission, crucible, whatever, and then fly into a tower that was only full of people who were there for the same activity you were, and have some sort of, especially for the raids, maybe you could select the raid you want to go into and fly in there. It's much easier to get 3 people than it is to get 6. You could fly in there with a fire team of 3 and get 3 other people. You could vet them before you even allow them to join the fire team if you wanted. Have some sort of message board facility in there. It's no different from having a vault in the tower. You could have something like that. And what you could do is, yeah, I don't see it happening until D3 either. And the reason I don't see it happening is because, and it's just going to be, yeah, it's not, it's something I've been playing around with for months. The issue with doing all of this stuff, now you guys have obviously heard that the developers have said They can't keep adding to the game. They have to take away. It's not just a raid social space. It's you can choose. So it's the same tower you would fly into, but you choose like private matches. Do you want to go in and search for a raid team? When you fly in there, if you select that option in the raid, you fly in there to meet people that want to do raids. If you want to do comp, you fly in there with other people that want to do comp. If you want to do the, heroic sundial, heroic menagerie, whatever, you pick the group you want to match with, and the only other people that will be in that tower are people that have picked the same activity that you did. It allows you to find people, who are interested in doing the same thing you want to do. And you can vet them because you can actually, such and such, John J, kiss kiss, cuddle cuddle. Yeah, so if you want to do Scourge of the Past and you go, right, well, I want to do a raid, I want to search for raid people, I want to search for the Scourge, and then you fly into that social space. That social space only has people that want to do Scourge. Then you could maybe have some sort of message board facility where people in the tower, even if it was just a raid. Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't be resorting to third party LFGs. But even if you just a raid and you register, when you go, you register on the message board, and above your name, say there's a coloured dot. I mean, they've got titles, so it's not like they can't do it. And if you've got a red dot above your head, you're there for the Leviathan. If you've got a yellow dot above your head, you're there for Last Wish. They're never going to have more raids than they've got colours. So every time a new raid come out, it would have a new colour. And you could you go to this message board, you register your interest for certain raid, and maybe there'll be different message boards for different raids. It's always been something they've spoke about, but Bungie have got this kind of weird thing going on where they don't fix things, they remove and change things. So, for an example, when Grimoire was in the game in Destiny 1, people always had a problem with the Grimoire. Now, they never had a problem with the fact you earned Grimoire. They had a problem that you had to go onto the website to read the Grimoire and look at the cards and stuff. Bungie took that as people don't like Grimoire, so they took it out the game. And it was one of the things people complained about the most, that when there was no Grimoire, so eventually they brought Triumphs back in. They didn't fix the point of having Grimoire in the game. I believe Destiny 2 wasn't fixed when it wasn't ready to be released when it was released anyway. They had to meet their deadline. I could name other circumstances and instances where something has been released unfinished because they need to bring revenue in to secure the funding for the changes they need to make. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying they had a financial deadline. No more beep beeps. Yeah, if you listen to the NPCs all over the place, they still talk about Sparrow Racing, so I reckon that stuff could come back. But again, I'm digressing. Let's go back to the D3 thing. Unfortunately, all these changes probably won't come out till D3, and unfortunately, D3 probably won't come out until the new consoles come out. And I have a sneaky suspicion that the old consoles won't support them. So, Xbox One X, maybe the PS Pro and the Xbox One X will support it, but Xbox One, just the normal, and the PS4, I don't think will. Because that was part of the problem when D2 come out in the first place. When D1 come out, it was still supporting old platforms, and You know, we never got the vault space. It was a heap of stuff we never got. I think the processing power, the physical and the artificial processing power that the systems provide, coupled with maybe some of the older tools that Bungie are using to create the older, you know, we know that the netcode is still the 2014 netcode. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I don't think they'll bring a game out that's been supported by platforms that restrict what they can do. I think that the when they bring the game out, it will only be supported by the newer platforms, so that they can literally just do more. Because that's probably why they keep removing content. So you're correct. I don't think they'll be able to do it. You know, all these things. It's like Trails. I can't see Trails coming out in Destiny 2 at all. And if it does, that will be the big thing that they flag. You know, that will be the big thing that they oh, the ordeal. Oh, where do we go? What do we do? I need some more Donna materials, man. That'll be the... I need some more Donna materials. Just need Donna materials. Ah, right, okay. I would be very surprised if Saint 14's area has anything to do with Trails. And I have seen it. Yes, I've heard that as well, that the idea is, wouldn't it be cool if we are actually creating Trails for ourselves, if that's the storyline that we're leading into? Yeah. Yeah. I think it would be a cheap trick at this point. I do not think if the Imperium Foundation. So just to give you guys an idea, the Imperium comes from, it's a historical term that was used in you know, I'm not sure if it was Greek, the Greeks that first started using it, but it's basically the highest point. It was like their heaven, and it was supposedly, it was all covered in fire, but it was like a nirvana, like a paradise, the highest place, the highest echelon you could reach, you know, when you ascended from Earth. It always, because Bungie spent a bit of time on Mercury. You know, they spent a bit of time developing Mercury, and it was their first DLC, and it's the only one of their DLCs that was ever poorly received. Yeah, it's where it's the highest point of ascension. It's where humans go. It's supposedly, as I say, it's believed to be, it's not quite heaven, but it's how we ascend. I don't know how that points to Trials, because Bungie are very strong with that stuff. They're very strong with the wordplay. You know, I'll give you an example. When Luke Smith announced not on PlayStation, I'm not. Not on PlayStation, I'm not. I literally have been on PlayStation for about, I don't know, a day or 2 days. I'm still trying to unlock the foundries. I'm still not the foundries. The thingies. I'm using my fractaling to. I've unlocked. I think I've got about 2,000 on Xbox, but I haven't been doing the bounties. So I reckon I could get the 5,000. You up at 4,400. For real. I don't want you guys to get jealous. But this is fractaling for you. I've got that much, I can't even, there you go. Come on now. I'm only a zero away from yours, you. They are simple. They are simple. Well, Cousin Ivory, I could tell you a long and convoluted story, but what it really boils down to is skill. And I didn't even have to do a bounty to get them. I literally waited for Saint 14 to bend down to pick up, to feed his pigeons. Stole that out of his back pocket. As you can see, I have been grinding away quite consistently to get. Listen, I don't like making you guys feel bad, but I'm gonna show you something else that you're not gonna like. It's unfortunate, but it just is the way it is. There you go. 4 out of 400. I don't want to hear anything about it, because you've no idea how long that took me. No, I'm joking. Yeah, crossplay. The whole point of me doing my PlayStation account is when I've got nothing to do on Xbox, I can then go to PlayStation and I've got more stuff to do. You know, if I cross-saved, then there would be no point in me having 2 accounts. There just wouldn't be any point in me doing that. And I'm hoping this year I can start my PC journey. Once I get a decent seat. This is ridiculous. Some people have accused me of being a YouTuber. How can I be a YouTuber when I don't have a decent seat? This is wholly unacceptable. I can't wait to get this room done up and get. How about this, guys? I'm gonna get a webcam. Ugh. Are you guys ready for that? You ready to see this? You're not ready to see this. Alright, let's go and let's break it up a little bit. Let's go and actually do something. The idea was tonight was to try and get my character up to 965, maybe 96 odds, and then go and do a dungeon as a 965 virgin to the dungeons. I'm not, but my PlayStation account is. Ewan, come on now. Thank you, Nick. It's going to be weird to put a face to the voice. Literally. I don't want to say anything, but if any of you guys followed me on Twitter, you'd have already seen my face. No, I will, I can't, I'm still laughing at that. Some things just need to remain a secret. Pale skin and red hair? No, come on now. You're so racist. No, not quite.
Of the hive.
I just feel like, and I don't know about you guys, uh, did it really, Cousin Irie? Who were you watching a guide from? Was it me? Probably not. That's cool. I understand. But wow, the 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 destiny, the YouTube algorithm actually working in my favor. Now I'm not sure if the person I'm going to speak about is in chat, maybe lurking or whatever. But I speak to a guy. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's good, man. Some of the stuff he talks about is really good. Alrighty, righty. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you have took the time to come and say hello, and I hope that you're enjoying the conversation in the chat. I have been known to make guides myself, but they're more on how to beat kind of hard content solo. That's kind of what I do. No, not Shablo. Shablo's a good guy. It is a guy called Ebontis. I'm not sure if he's in chat. He might be here somewhere. He might not be. And he released a video on how to solo the Whisper with no heavy ammo. Right? There was no drops. It was a bug. It was a bug in the Shattered Throne. And his video got 1.2 million views. I released that video about 2 months before he did, and got about 400 views. So you can see how the algorithm really works in my favor, and it's not the first time that's happened. No disrespect to Abontis. Yeah, he's all right. He follows me on Twitter and he comments quite regularly on my posts and stuff, and I've been in his videos, like in his streams and that chat, and he's always been very complimentary towards me and about me. So yes, I relented. I am using the Wish Ender. Might as well, they're fixing it soon, so. Oh, come on, dude. So, yeah. Night. Really? So that kind of, unfortunately, that type of stuff, it looks really good. But again, if you know, the week after that come out, I soloed it, then done the heroic solo, and then flawlessed it. Once you know the battles, you could go in there with your next door neighbour's underwear on and get the solo. You know, I literally, and again, I'm not blowing any trumpets because it's not me. I don't really enjoy it. I don't enjoy other people that do it either. But Esoteric's I'm friendly with Esoteric on. He's one of my friends on PlayStation, and I've spoke quite a bit with Ezo. So it's no disrespect, and it's no, oh, anybody can do that, because he is a cracking player. But when you do it with white weapons and white armor and stuff like that, if you know the battles, it's not as difficult as it looks. Oh,
There's the
Isha weapons.
Let's take it down.
I've never really been. Why is that not going? Oh, there we go. Don't kill me. Come on. Yeah, hold that. I'll go over here. Just wait for you. You can have that. You can have that. Draw time on this is a bit slow. Trying to get doubles. Where'd you go? Yeah, so once you know the activities, you know, I always find it's a bit of it's almost, I hate to say it, I'm gonna say it, so I can't hate to say it that much. It's like a circus act. And now the incredible dancing PvE player will now attempt this with 2 hands tied behind his back, and you know, and it's like, oh really? You know, once you know the fight, that's like, I remember saying once about, you know, because I've got friends that do it. I've got friends that do those sorts of challenges, and I remember saying to people in one of my videos that if you want to watch a performer, you know, I suppose maybe I don't make those sorts of videos because I don't like them, and I don't enjoy watching players that are like, look at me. I'd much prefer to do stuff where people, I go, yep, watch me do this, and I'm gonna tell you or help you or show you or, you know, advise you on how to do it as well. And I remember, and if anybody thinks that this is inaccurate, you can quite easily go and check for yourself. The thing that really kind of separates some players from other players, I suppose,
Put up a fight.
as players like me don't think that guides and explaining how to do stuff is necessary. Yeah, the speedrun. So I've always got a bit more respect for speedrunners because I've never really enjoyed it. Like there's a guy that done Shattered Throne in like 15 minutes. That's some going to do that in 15 minutes solo. And I've always got a little bit more respect for them because speedrunning is a talent. You know, beating something with. Do you know that I think it was the movie of the week this week. Somebody flawlessly soloed the Pit of Heresy with 2 sidearms and a sword. That's pretty impressive. You know, white weapons and armor, you get them at the same level. Your power level stays up, right? So you don't actually lose any power doing it. And some of the white weapons, I mean, actually. Is it the Botheration shotgun and there's like a blue pulse rifle are 2 of the strongest weapons in the game. The Botheration's, you know, a preferred weapon for comp players. It just goes to show you. I mean, I watched a guy who had masterworked, and I didn't even think you could masterwork. I'm not even sure you can actually, so maybe it wasn't even masterworked. I might be making that part up actually. I thought he had masterworked it. But he had a blue piece of armour at almost 90. He had a blue piece of armour at almost 90 rated, and it was gauntlets. And he was like, I'm not getting rid of these. And I was like, Jesus. Just, you know, I didn't know you could get blues to drop, you know, that would drop with stats that high. But yeah, one of the stats was like, because you know on the blue stuff, you don't always get stats for everything, but one of them was like 30. And it was like, Jesus, that's phenomenal. That's you know, that's a lot. So when you see people, you know, doing these solo whisper with, you know, full white weapons. I think Shablo done a solo Shattered Throne with white weapons and white armor. I'm not saying that it's not a good. Yeah, definitely. Allegro 34. Yeah, that's a hand cannon, right? Is it? I might be wrong there. Purge, what's happening, man? You good? Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from those sorts of challenges because they're you know pretty decent challenges, but I really don't look at them as like wow, because I understand that it doesn't really matter with the color of your armor, the color of your weapons. If you've got good weapons, you've got good weapons. Yeah. I'm good, Tex man. I'm good. It's always good to have you here. I hope your life is finding you in a good place. I went all kind of weird there. Instead of saying, yeah man, I'm good, how about you? It's my new goal for 2020 is to try and say stuff as complicated and as needlessly long as possible. And I am succeeding. But yeah, I have you really? That is always good to hear. So you've come in kind of late to the conversation here, Tex. What do you think about the season pass kind of model? How are you finding it? Same as yourself, you, and I don't think you were here for that conversation. What do you guys think about the season pass model? You know, would you like to see the season pass last for another year? Like, I mean, after September? Okay. Well, maybe it's just tryhards like me that want it changed. I don't know. I definitely want it revised. I definitely want the season you know, the seasons like Season of Dawn, Season of Undying. I definitely want that content to be more meaningful. And yeah, maybe I would like a strike thrown in that we're gonna keep. But maybe I don't know. Maybe that's not a seasonal pass thing. Maybe that was the DLC. Maybe because we really got the Scarlet Keep. Haven't really seen too much of that festering. Is it the festering core something? I've done it a couple of times in the strikes, but I haven't really seen it. Exactly, Tex. You're jumping back now after how long you been out the game now, man? Been a while. I haven't seen you comment, and if I remember correctly, you used to comment quite a bit on my stuff. If I remember correctly. But yeah, this is definitely a good place to come back to if you're coming back. There is a ton of content. sniper. Oh, I got hit there. Uh-huh. Oh, I just tried to lift it there to get a cheeky head. Like that. Oh, oh, this is Fogoth. Oh. Has it been that long, Tex? Jeez. So you're coming back to like, you're coming back to Forsaken and all that type of stuff. Yeah, well, Radiance, yeah. Let's have a look here. Season of Vanguard. Okay, for everybody that's in chat, just to get on top of that. If you could pick, I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you two Nightfalls, right? They've already said Wish Ender's getting fixed. It's gonna be really quick. It's not gonna stay like this for very long. If you could pick one strike to get an overhaul, and you could bring one D1 strike forward. So there's two strikes. One strike to get overhauled, and one strike to come forward from D1. Yep. Yeah, Text, I definitely think that's the case. I think Tuesday, you know, I don't have a problem with it getting fixed because I haven't really used it that much. I used it for the Nightfall because to get the 100k in 950. Oh man, I'm on the wrong side. To get the 100k on the 950. You know. No, you don't. I don't know if you're noticing something, but I'm a little bit weird with the controller, and it's not because it's a PlayStation. It's because I've raised the sensitivity up a bit. I wanted to try playing on a higher sensitivity. Put that there. D1 strike on Dying Mind. Overhaul the hollowed layer. Text, yeah, this is that's this is a nightmare hunt, and that's Fogoth. So you're right. This was a D1 strike, but this is a. You'll get to this. You're a little bit. Got a little bit to go till you get to these nightmare hunts. But yeah, this was Fogoth, the summoning pits. Oh, come on now. Fogoth's getting a little bit fruity. that. For you. Oh. Yeah.
The nightmare of Fogoth is no more, Eris.
Yeah, when you get to the moon. So sorry there. Let's have a look. D1 strike. You'd like to see the Undying Mind come back. Did you, Nick? Did you by chance happen to see my solo high score on the Undying Mind this week? It's cool. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring, because I played D1, but I didn't have a YouTube channel when I done D1. So, you know, all the stuff I've done in D1, it's just like, it's in your watch later, no problem, buddy. I hate saying that because it's like I'm begging for views. I'm not. It was just because it came up in the chat. I'm not like, guys, go and rewatch all my videos and make sure you watch all my videos and like, share, and subscribe to all my videos. And I don't really like doing that. But it's because you said about the Undying Mind. It was like, oh yeah, I've done that this week. So yeah, Undying Mind, pretty cool. Hollowed Layer. What would you like to see? Thanks, Tex. What would you like to see? What's your biggest complaint with the Hollowed Layer? Just because, you know. I'm glad it doesn't come across like that. So make sure you tell all your friends about me. I'm joking. Hollowed Layer's okay. It's yeah. Immune phases, I think. I don't know. I don't know where they exist in my kind of way of thinking. Some of them I think the Hollowed Layer is probably one of the only bosses that I know of that you can't bake. You can't just go, yep, had enough of you, you're dead. I think he's the only one I think you can't do that with. Undying Mind, most definitely. I'd probably stick with the classics. I would possibly like to see what's a solid kinetic legendary that uses special ammo. A solid kinetic legendary. There's a few, but it uses special. Oh, I know, because you're on a quest. Shotgun. Shotgun will work. A primary shotgun. I'm pretty sure that's what I've done that quest with. Or that objective. Because I now remember there is a thing where you've got to get... Is it Gambit? Is it Gambit Bounty? Is that right? Best thing to do is look in your collections for primaries that have the special ammo symbol next to it, instead of the white one. You know, and I think all kind of, you basically have to look for weapons that you would imagine being in the secondary slot that are in the primary. So shotgun, sniper, you know. Even linear fusion rifle, but because you've just come back, you possibly won't have it. There you go. I second that. I happen to get two really good rolls on it. The two rolls that you would want to get from it, which is I got trench barrel, and I also got a 1-2 punch. So very happy with that. Oh what? Was it a time lost bounty?
By that which eats away at us. For Skolas, it was his own hubris. He pursued complete control over all houses of the fallen.
Time lost bounty, okay.
And through his misguided conquest, many perished. Skolas's memory serves as a permanent reminder.
Yeah, I would just look at in your collections, your weapon collections, and look for
No matter how hard
shotgun, sniper,
you try,
yada yada, that
coward.
have the special ammo symbol instead of the white ammo symbol, the kinetic ammo. And it'll probably be a shotgun or a sniper. Solid advice there. You there, Lee? I'm just checking, making sure my good friend is still with us. I like to do this every now and again. Sound off in chat if you're still here, so we know who's. I like to do it to see how many people are engaging in conversation and how many people are just here to support me or just listen to the conversation. Cool guys, it's nice to have you here. Yeah, Tex, on you go, man. So you can stalk my loadout. Oh, I don't know if I can give those secrets away, man. Of course you can. It's all good. Yep, Desert Dog, Eric, nice to have you guys here. Lurk away. I kind of like to know who's here. You know? Just so that I can... I don't know. Just so I know who's here. Thank you, guys.
Skolas Nightmare, dead ahead. It's ours.
Well... It's nice to have you here. This is kind of an impromptu stream tonight anyway. It's nice to see so many people. Hi everybody, I would like to introduce, for everybody that's here and everybody that's talking, that somebody has just announced their arrival in chat, and it would be my oldest son, Scott. So I would be much obliged if you showed him a little bit of love. He's possibly one of the best Crucible players I've ever seen. By myself. No, I'm joking. He's very, very good. He's a very good Crucible player. Nice to see them coming out to support their dad. I was hoping to catch that nightmare before he come up. Come on. Oh Jesus! Do you see that way that's? You see the way thank you guys, appreciate that. Do I get unfortunately the ungrateful tyke has got his own place, so I can't ask him to do any of that stuff for me, but you best believe that if he was here, no. I have a very patient partner who is very super supportive of my gaming. In fact, Becky buys most of my gaming stuff actually. So I get all that type of stuff just kind of brought to me. It's very nice, you know. She doesn't have to do it, but it's nice. But no, Scott's a little bit. I think he's a little bit too old to still be staying with his dad. Hayden, how you doing? Who, may I ask, who is Nebula Engram? Is that one of you guys in chat? Let's see, friend request received. Is that you text? No. It's fine. I just, you know, I was just asking if that was one of you guys. It's all good. It's all good. I just load up, man. If you ever get any requests like that, don't accept them. You have been accepted, sir. Might be one of those sex bots. Well, it's been a while since anybody's called me a sex bot, but you could be right. Hayden, what platform are you on, Hayden? There it is. So look at this. So somebody did ask me if I would help them get the Whisper. Nice work, man. I don't know why I've still got that. Right, Scott. That's 20 to 11 here. I think it's time you went to your bed now, son. Just jokins. Ah ha ha. Private joke. Not so much of a private joke since everybody's probably seen the meme already. I don't know what to say. Sex bot. It's bad when you're getting that stuff on PlayStation and Xbox. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Oh no. Right. Let's have a look at this. Stop looking at bounties. Do I not have that? Yeah, man, I think it eats in, it kind of buys into the stereotype that all gamers sit on their own, no friends, easy meat, easy pickings. It's like, man. Flashlight. I find it a little bit disconcerting actually. Those things keep popping up. Yeah, yeah. One day, I might tell you a story of a gamer girl. But I'm sure you guys don't want to hear the story right now. You'd much rather wait to another time to hear my personal experience of a gamer girl. Ooh. Really? Do you know this thing's like super overpowered? Scott doesn't know all my stories, and it's actually it's more. Oh sure, mention it and not tell us. Oh, how original. There you go. So so at the start of this, I'm gonna add this at the start. The names in this stuff, was it a fellow? Yeah, but that was a Saturday, so it doesn't count. There's I mean, the names have been changed to protect the identity of some people, but you'll see what I mean, that it's not really going to matter when I tell you. So, ages and ages and ages ago, when I first started doing YouTube, I got my Twitter account, I got added by this person of the female persuasion. And, you know, the usual kind of, well, what I perceived to be the usual kind of thing, which was, you know, oh, I really like your videos, you're such a talented player, and yada yada. To which I was, oh thanks, shucks, you shouldn't, more please. I wasn't really, I was like, yeah thanks, because that stuff just doesn't bother me. You know, I've got an absolutely amazing, gorgeous missus. It's all I'll ever need. But anyway, so chatting away and all the rest of it, and then we were having this conversation one day, and I was getting kind of, you know, that way where you're like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem like just friendly conversation. This seems very pointed. So I mentioned you me love you long time, $5 Chi. So I mentioned my missus. Yeah, you're gonna get that a lot with Ewan. Ewan and Eric, and I'm quite. It would have been great if a few of the other guys had been here as well, because this is the banter that normally. G-Spot is the Konami code. Just remember that. Yeah, yeah. So I brought my missus into the conversation. I was like, oh yeah, I was with Becky and I was doing this and doing that. And the conversation kept going, but after that, there was no more conversation, right? And about a week later, I'd seen she posted something. And I commented on it, and I just got a, oh yeah, or a, you know, just like a, haha, yeah. And I was like, okay, that's cool. The conversation is now where I want it to be. So you're with me so far, right? Okay. So I'm going to ask you guys, and then as I said to start with, as I said, yeah, Ewan's rough. I'm going to change the name. I'm going to change the names of these people. So about 6 months ago, or 8 months ago maybe, I got word that a very good player in this game had maybe met someone else while he was still married, and it caused a bit of a scene. I don't know if you guys heard about it. There was a Reddit post about it and everything, and it never bothered me because I like the boy. He's probably got his own side of the story, and you know, a lot of people were trying to shame him, and it didn't really bother me. Then I found out who the girl was that he left his wife for. And I don't know if it would surprise you to know it was the girl that I was talking with. So I fully understand what gamer, you know, what a gamer girl is capable of. But I kind of did feel like that she upgraded. She kind of was talking to me, and then she went, oh, I'll just go to the top of the pile if you're not interested. And the other guy was. He was very interested. And as far as I know, they're still together. He left his wife and everything for her. Yeah. Well, the other player, Tex, is another PvE player who kind of does similar stuff to what I do, but probably does more stuff. He's probably more interested in like what I would say the entertainment value of challengers. And he's already been mentioned in this chat already. Give you a good idea of who I'm talking about, right? and I wouldn't class him as a friend, but I'd class him as an associate. We've had conversations and stuff, and he actually reviewed one of my videos before I put it out. It's funny because I've seen her in a few of his videos. That is correctly. A friend of mine was in with us, and she was telling us, and then I actually had a conversation with another content creator who's also been mentioned in this chat already, and it was him that told me you need to stop this, Ewan, I swear to God, man. Was it Leroy Mint? Yep, it's Lee. Lee is now with a gamer girl. And it just goes to show you that you know, when you're a decent player, some people can take advantage, or try at least to take advantage of you, because you can do stuff they can't do. You know, and I reckon that's why I like my... Can I call you guys my community? Is that an acceptable... Is that an acceptable thing to say? This is a community, right? I think so. The thing I like about... You're safe. You're safe. You're all safe. You're all safe. The thing I like about my community is I feel like you guys are here for the guides, and you know, the little tips and the little... I don't feel like there's many people that are part of this channel. You know, you do get people that ask you to help them do stuff, and I'll always help if I can. If I can help someone get something or do something, I will. But I don't feel like I've got too many people that follow me, or, you know, that are like that. For the harassment, yeah. And that's definitely what Ewan's here for. I've got to watch out. If Ewan keeps coming out with these funny comments, any kind of money I make, he's going to want some of it. Well, your only son on the birth certificate, son. I tried to... if eBay had been around, I'd have seen how much I could have got for you. I'm joking. I'm not. I'm joking. Of course I am. It's like... that, of course I am, is like the end of Endgame. Where Star-Lord and Thor are talking about who's in charge. And it's like, it's alright, there'll be no knifing, everybody knows who's in charge, and Star-Lord goes, it's me, right? And Thor goes, of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. No, that would be Limac, who is a clan member and a warped individual. Done the fangirls thing. Good shout there, Eric. I forgot about that. I reckon the community I've got's good people. You know, I don't have an issue. If any of you guys needed help doing stuff, if I could help, I would. You know? But there just are some people out there that don't think like that. You know? And this is their kind of... spoilers. And this is their kind of claim to fame almost, you know? And although I would say it doesn't bother me, I'd probably be lying. But that it doesn't bother me, because it does bother me. I just recognise, you know, that some people don't view you as, you can't expect to be viewed by everybody the way that you want to be viewed. I mean, it's that old adage that don't expect a lion not to bite you because you wouldn't bite the lion. I tell you what, how many of you guys would buy a Fangirl merch t-shirt? Hashtag fangirl. I would never do that. Okay, so I'll ask you guys, with all your creative minds, if I was to make merchandise, what kind of stuff would I put on it? What would be my taglines? Because I don't really have a lot, do I? I don't really have stuff that I say. I think somebody said in chat last time, repeatable strategy. That would probably have to be one, because I do say that quite a lot. Better have a pale red head. No, I've thought about it, because I spoke about it last time, about, you know, doing eventually. I mean, I've helped people. I've actually went onto people's accounts and done, you know, account recovery for 0 hour, or, you know, whatever it might be. And afterwards, they've been like, "Do you sell merch?" Because I would, you know, to support you for doing that, I would buy a t-shirt. And I always find that quite funny, because, you know, the channel exists to help people, so why would I not help people? Save your hammerhead ammo. It would go nicely with the other t-shirt I got you. I bought Scott a t-shirt when we went on holiday saying, "I'm not gay, but $50 is $50. Fan Dabby Dozy. Am I now an unofficial member of the Crankies? That doesn't quite seem like where I wanted to be. When I started out trying to do videos, I never imagined that one of you would Greg. That's quite funny, actually. And you know what's even funnier about that, Nick, is I don't even like the hammerhead as a weapon. I literally, so I'll pull back the curtain on that a little bit. I literally, I've been trying that run over the space of 2 days quite a bit, and I used the 21% delirium for quite a bit. And at the end of about halfway through, towards the end of the second day, well, that's the thing. At the end of the second day, I decided that 21% delirium just wasn't doing the job. So I switched to the hammerhead and got it first time with the hammerhead. Second time, sorry. First time, I can't remember what happened first time. I don't think I rallied a flag when I went in. I was like, oh man, I'll just see how far I can get. But the hammerhead definitely made it possible, because, as I said in the video, the hammerhead sorted out the void shields at the end. Lee, rock on, Tommy. Yeah, so, but it was something I used to say quite a lot, which was save your heavy. You know, it's not so prevalent now, but it was something I used to say. But I don't know what would be my taglines. Let's have a look at old Crackerjack taglines. Ewan, how old are you? How old are you? come on now. Before you're gonna start coming up with, if you start coming up with stuff like story time with mother and stuff like that, I'm gonna start worrying. I'm surprised Lee hasn't. 51? Ah, still a youngin'. 2nd of Jan. Oh, so it's not. Happy birthday for 10 days ago then. You get anything nice for your birthday? Knitted sweater? Pipe, slippers? Stick the kettle on. Yeah, I just don't say it in my videos. Not worth it, really? Stick the kettle on. For the person that asked about me, does Scott make tea? That will give you all the heads up you need, because I do ask the kids to stick the kettle on quite a bit. I love a cup of tea. So I have no real repeatable phrases. That's disconcerting. I'm gonna have to come up with some. I always said I would wait until my wife got me some reduced Christmas chocolate. That's good. I wouldn't mind a bit of Christmas chocolate. When you've got as many kids as I've got, chocolate doesn't stay uneaten very long. I have oh, that's funny. Ewan, I really do appreciate your sense of humour, my man. I think most of us do, actually. I'm just driving about here and not actually doing anything. Let's get... Oh no, I know why I came here. I came here because there's a flashpoint to be done, right? Yeah, let's go and do a loss. Let's go and do a public event, pre-melted. "20 years married. Congrats, man. Oh, I hate that. Yeah, there's nothing broken about this boat. Right. What do we think? Is this gonna be... Is this gonna be... I'm gonna prepare as if this is gonna be that... Take him? Okay. And I've missed out
up some aberrations in reality.
Yep, take him. No, no other heavy. Did none of them drop heavy? Alright, let's see if we can maybe get brick. Oh, look at that. One more brick would be beautiful. That won't go with these.
Here come the Taken again.
At this point, I could set my watch by them.
Get ready. The blight's opening.
Yeah, I get killed here. Need to get rid of those snipers. Nice job, Scott. Booyah!
Yes. Another Taken champion down.
Hey Laura, how you doing? Nice to have you in chat.
You were done surprising me.
Laura is another one of my good friends and long-term clan members. Holy guacamole. Take it easy, Ewan. Always fun, mate. Always good to have the chat flowing and stuff. And you're a funny guy. Tell you that. I think Ewan, you're one of the few people that I actually, when I look at chat, I'm like, what's he gonna say next? Yeah, I think Lee was saying that he had fun in the Fattered Shown earlier on. The old shit-haired. Yeah, they do have to nerf this. It's illegally good. And I hate using weapons like this because when it just makes the game a little. I bet they do, Ewan. I bet they do, but I don't think they appreciate you as much as I do. Boom. when you say cheesing the matchmaking in Crucible, do you mean making a matchmaking lobby? Like creating a lobby, like a kill lobby? Is that what you mean? I'm not quite sure if... Yeah... I agree, Eric. Okay, in principle I agree that it is very, very, very good, and that other than a handful, a lot of the exotics in the game aren't very good, and yeah, I don't. It's very fun to use. It's a very good exotic. It's very powerful. Like an exotic should be, I agree. But this is very powerful. In fact, the way it is at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if you could do a fair bit of damage on a raid boss. Just with using maybe that, and you know, there are other broken exotics, and people have soloed Riven with, you know, the switch between two exotic gauntlets, middle tree, solar hammers, and a shotgun with 1-2 punch. It does have a long draw time. I will agree. So 1 minute 43. I mean, just killing those just hits so hard that, you know. Yeah, I agree. It's DPS because of the, you know, the arrows per minute isn't as high. But for a primary with its fire rate, its damage per shot is pretty high for a primary. Pretty much anything you hit, you'll kill. Pretty much. Maybe. Well, there's no maybe. It probably would have took that.
Ether servitor en route to reinforce the line.
The steel, the auto rifle. High rate of fire auto rifle. I'm probably the wrong person to ask about that. Simply because I don't really enjoy auto rifles.
Hungry.
So, but like everything else in the game, as I was told a long time ago by a friend of mine, they have a place. Everything in the game has a place. So, what kind of role do you want to get on it?
It's panicking.
What are you looking for? It does come with some good rolls. I don't really do auto rifles simply because I feel like I fire them forever
Having a very bad day.
and then don't do a lot of damage. You know, I'm predominantly, you know, I'm a hand cannon user. I like that single shot damage. I thought I seen a did I see a legendary engram around here? So yeah, there we go. Couple that with yeah, as I say, it's if it's, you know, if you like auto rifles, Vorpal, yeah, Feeding Frenzy, yep. I would always go with something that's got a fire rate, a decent fire rate. I would always go for Rampage if I'm not sure if it comes. Ambitious Assassin, again, you know. It's just a pity that they nerfed when they did. That they nerfed the Gambit auto rifle. Right, what's this? I picked up those bounties and I haven't even worked on them. It's a travesty. Finisher. Sword? Did somebody say sword? I done a couple of strikes just before I come on stream and I dropped... What did I drop? I dropped a Black Talon Catalyst from the first one. Breakneck. Yeah, Breakneck. Insanity, how you doing there, man? But oh no. I dropped the Black Talon Catalyst from the first strike, and then the Lord of Wolves Catalyst from the second one. Not that that's any big deal, but to get both of them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They done a bit of a job on Breakneck, but I still like it. Go and kill some stuff with sword. This is not a great area to do that in. Is there another public event? Oh wait a minute, I might be able to make that right here. Where is it? Oh, it's gone. Oh, this would be the best one to go to. I want to finish this I don't really enjoy doing these as much as I used to. I used to love doing public events, but nice work. Nice job, Alino. You. Oh, you thief. I'm gonna kill you now for that. And you can thank your mate for disappearing. Oh. Oh, really? Okay, I need something better. Yay! Rocket launcher with one rocket.
Let's do this.
Hit them where it hurts.
So we will toss a grenade up there. And another one. And then put a rocket on it. And then get out of there. Because I have no more rockets. Come back in. See if we can farm a little bit of heavy. Oh nice, somebody else's. Yeah, I'm gonna die now. Yes, I'm going to die. Hi Voxman. How do you do? You good? Grenade launcher. Would have been better with a shotty in here for me.
That's all the vents. Here we go.
Right, okay. Take out both. There we go. I'm only here for the loot. Right, let's go and see.
You know what I say about you, Guardian? You do things big, and you do them with style.
Yep, that's definitely a good shout. Anything that brings diversity to the game, I'll always support. Depth, you know. I just feel like there's things in the game that they could be supporting and addressing, and you know. I mean, you've got the foundries, you've got the different weapon foundries. That's definitely a good shout for content. But we've also got the factions. You know, they took them out of the game because they were lackluster. Because again, it seemed like they were going with like the approach to it was fast and furious kind of content, get it out quick, and you know,
What's the word?
make everybody's experience of that content be oh, I don't think I have that on PlayStation. 37 noise. Yeah, no, it's a good idea. It is a good idea. There's lots of different little things they could be doing to appease the community. I thought I had a higher primer than that. Yeah, there's definitely something. Yeah, there's a new Uriels. Yeah.
Aim well. Consider your next action.
Alright, what are these? Come on now.
Eyes open.
Multi-kills. Let's just dump that. And let's go and get a multi-kill. I don't know if you guys were here. Excuse me. I don't know if you guys were here when I was saying about what happened to me over the weekend with my, having to phone the ambulance last night and stuff. That's why I haven't. It's one of the reasons I haven't really streamed this week. I streamed tonight because you guys are pretty important to me. I don't want you guys thinking that this is like a, you know, a social experiment that I'm not taking seriously. But I can already feel myself kind of starting to flag a little bit, because last night really took it out of me. The last couple of days actually really took it out of me. I was severely worried that I was having a stroke yesterday. As unfunny as that is, but that's actually what I thought was happening. And if it hadn't have been for the absolute, I can't stress without using language that I promised myself I'd never use on my channel, how I viewed the guy I ended up getting to speak to on the phone. I probably would have been in hospital last night. But so I'm probably going to stream for another half hour, say, and then I'm gonna get off. I only, as I say, only stream. I normally don't stream a Sunday night, but I wanted to, you know, at least let you guys know that it's not, you know, I'm not just going, you know what, I just can't be bothered streaming tonight. I'd stream every night if I could. And I love the fact that I'd done an impromptu stream tonight. I never really gave anybody that much advance warning, and yet I got so many people joining the chat, and you know, it might not seem a lot to some people, but if even one or two people join the chat and start commenting, I'm happy. You know, I love all you guys. Alright, that's taking it a bit far. I respect yous. Love's a bit strong. Yeah, I'm really glad that, you know, I got, because it seems like there's a few people that came into the stream tonight that normally don't or haven't been here before, and it was nice. It was nice to have, you know, it was nice. There are some people that come into the stream that, you know, I hear all the time, and I love having Lee and Ewan and Eric, and you know, Scott's normally somewhere in the background. Evan's normally somewhere in the background. I love having you guys here, you know. But you know, the more people we can bring into the community, the better. You know. And I don't know what I'd say about myself or this community. I would say that I'm the type of person I like to fester good conversation. My guides are all about helping people complete stuff with tagline. This is the merch speech with the repeatable strategies that, you know, it's not these work on a good day. It's these will work every time you do it if you use the weapon that I'm using, and you go where I'm going, and you know, whatever. So the more people I can, you know, kind of bring into the community, obviously the better it's going to be for the community, to be fair. It's as simple as that. You know, I play Destiny a lot, and I don't always just play, you know, as I've said already, I've done account recoveries for people where I've helped, you know, I've played other people's accounts to get them stuff that they've struggled with, and you know, I helped a whole clan, almost a whole clan, get the Whisper when it come out. And literally, some of these people, some of the people that I helped, they never made it out of the Lost Sector. You know, I'm going back when the Whisper was still, you know, when it was a new piece of content. So, it's not a boast, it's not a brag. It's just that's, you know, the more people I can get into the community, the more people I can get to come in and watch the content, look at the streams, support what I'm trying to do, the stronger the community becomes, the better my help, the better my content, the better my schedules become. Zero hour. Zero Hour has something over Whisper from its very inception, because 0 Hour, what it done was, and I remember helping a guy, and Lee was there as well, and we said, right, it was quite late on with the whole 0 Hour thing. It had been out a while. And the guy was like, what do you think I should put on? I went, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you put on. And he was like, well, I don't really, he used a specific word, but he said, and pardon my French, because I don't swear on the channel, and it's not really a swear word, but it kind of is. He said, well, I don't want to be anybody's bitch when we're doing this. And I went, well, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, you probably are gonna be, because we're getting, you know, I know the jumping puzzle, so I'm just gonna go, you know, and he was like, well, why don't you just teach me it, because I'm gonna have to do it again when it hits heroic. And I said, but heroic is heroic's different. And that's one of the things, just one of the things that 0 Hour had over Whisper, which was the jumping puzzle is different on the heroic to what it is on normal. So in effect, you do get a slight change. Excuse me. Yeah, I'll agree. I had a ton of fun working that. Probably the content I've enjoyed, and I'm going to use this term, and it's probably going to become a term that I use more often. I try to dismantle content. I break it down into its you know, simplest form, and try and take it from there. You know, I'd love to see more stuff like that in the game, because as you were saying earlier on, next exotic will be the pulse rifle, the fusion rifle. So I think normally when they bring that, they will have another timed mission. And normally when they bring that mission in, it's between the second last and the last season of the game. It kind of normally fills out the last season. You know, that mission's still in kind of full throw when the last season comes out. And I'll make some predictions, and I hope you guys at Bastion, yeah. I hope you guys remember this. See how accurate my prediction is. I have a prediction that the last season of this year will be the best season we've had. Stay tuned. We need more stuff. You know, we do need more stuff like that.
Aboard, Guardian.
We need more stuff that us as the player, we have to find ourselves. I mean, when the Whisper mission first come out, I'm just going to speak a little bit about this stuff before I get off. Well, I have another reason for it, Nick. Right? And you're correct there. But I think it's more a case of the last season that we play is the most important to Bungie, because if they have, say, 4 seasons in this calendar year between Shadowkeep and whatever happens in September or in October, whenever it is, if they go into that, excuse me, if the last season that they do is really strong, no problem, Laura. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon. If they make the very last season before the big expansion, if they make that really good, it's easier to sell that expansion. You know? Now, I believe that a lot of Opulence was already locked down. But they keep the strongest season. They do it all the time. So if you go all the way back to Destiny 1, in year 1 at D1 we had probably one of my favourite DLCs, which was Crota, because I loved the raid. But they had Crota, but then House of Wolves came out, and people look back at House of Wolves and say, oh, it was quite lackluster. What did you have? You had a Strike or 2, you had Prison Elders, you had Trials. Trumps anything that any other DLC in Destiny 1 could have brought in, because 5 years later we're still talking about it. It was the most explosive piece of PvP content in gaming. It kept Destiny at the top of the Twitch directory for 3 years, 2.5 years. Then you can't really take Taken King into consideration because there was no DLC in Taken King. We had a April update and that was about it. Then you go to Rise of Iron, and the last piece of content we got is where they revamped all the strikes. Best piece of content we had that year. Move forward to year 1 of Destiny 2, we had Curse of Osiris. Split, divides opinion, but I personally liked it. I thought it could have been better, but I liked it. Then you had Warmind, which was the start of the saving of Destiny, because obviously the Whispered Worm quest, and then you had collectibles and scannables, and then you go to Forsaken. Best season we had by far was Opulence, and obviously just before that we had 0 Hour Mission. But Opulence brought in the best one of the best mini reads we've had. %, I think. So this was my thing. The Infinite Forest, after Osiris, after the quests were finished and the missions were finished, Osiris controlled the Infinite Forest. Now the Infinite Forest is basically the Matrix, to a degree. I mean, what I mean by that is, it's like the loading area of the Matrix. We can create whatever we want in there. It's a virtual engine that's planet-sized. So what did we use it for? nightmare events during Halloween. You know, literally what we've done in there has been pathetic. We could have, I thought it would have been good if we'd have had missions like, now when we're doing the adventures on Mercury, they talk about how they used the Infinite Forest to recreate Oryx's throne world. Why couldn't we have recreated the Fundament? Why couldn't we have recreated the Battle of Six Fronts? A Battle of Twilight Gap? You know, why couldn't we have used the Infinite Forest to recreate some of these seminal battles and situations in the Golden Age? And, you know, we could have used that as a storytelling platform, because all great content comes with a great story. So you guys all know the story of the 0 Hour Quest, how it started all the way back and moving forward. If you don't, I could give you guys a refresher if you would like. If you don't want a refresher, tell me to shut up, because you already know it all, and I'm joking. The point I'm making is, the 0 Hour Quest, for anybody that knew about the lore and the history of that quest, that's the culmination of almost 3 to 4 years of content. So, most of you guys played D1. So, any of you guys that did play D1 will know of King's Fall Raid. All the raid weapons in King's Fall were named after Fallen Kell. And it was a story of different members of the Fallen race, who weren't called the Fallen, obviously. They were called the Elixni back then. So, it tells the proper story of how the Fallen became Fallen. I mean, they literally did fall from grace. And so, long story short, Oryx and his band of brothers turn up. The Fallen are like imbued, like we are as Guardians. They were imbued by the Traveller, because the Traveller was there on Fallen land, Elixni country. Now, Elixni were like sovereign, you know, very regal race, very proud, but definitely not scavengers. So they went to fight Oryx, and when they turned, the Traveller had fled and took his power with him, and they were smashed. So the Fallen, when they found out, you know, all the planets that he touched, is why you know, in Destiny 1 you had the moon, it's close to Earth, Venus, not so much Mars, but and Earth. In D2 it's the same. They are whatever because they are frantic for the Traveller to get that light back, to help them ascend back to being Elixni. Except for, as we know up to this point, except for one Fallen who refuses to see himself as a Fallen, he still aspires to be an Elixni, and that is Mithrax, who is the Fallen captain that gives us the 0 Hour mission. Well, Mithrax actually appears in a story mission at the start of D2, sorry, and he is the captain that you get a choice of who you're going to kill at the end of this story mission section. You either kill the Fallen captain or the Hive Knight. And if you kill the Hive Knight, you've actually got to do that, I think, to unlock the ability to get the transponder for the 0 Hour mission. But the point is, he actually has been running for years with human fire teams. And his goal, he thinks we deserve the light. He thinks his race messed it up. And that we deserve the light. And as a show of appreciation, he's created a new house called the House of Light. Hoping that one day, he doesn't want to take the light. He doesn't want to steal it from us. He wants to join us. And he's created a house for other fallen that are sympathetic to humans. As opposed to seeing us as the enemy, now they see us as allies. When you get story content that links a heap of different stories together and brings like I wouldn't say a resolution, but a real kind of depth. That's good. That's good content. If you make good content that is wave defense, and although I'm done with wave defense, but if you make good content that resonates, then I believe Destiny is, as I said at the start of this stream, I believe Destiny is more than just point and shoot. I believe it's more than grind for the right roller weapon, the right armor. I think the game is a universe. If the deeper you get into the game, when you scratch the surface, it's slightly different. But the deeper you get into the game, the more you are interested in. Well, why is Eris Morn? Why is she, where was she? Where's she been for the last 3 years? And here's a question that I might have told some of you, I might not have. What is her connections to Asha Mir? You know, what is Shax's connection to Lord Saladin and Zavala? You know, content that can create a timeline between those things, man, it just gives you feels that the right role can only give you once. You get that god roll weapon and that's it. But when you get content that brings story arc and makes it real and gives you something tangible, yeah, I mean, Eris Morn wrote a letter to Asha Mir asking, and this is in D1. In D1, sorry, there was a piece of lore where she went to visit a friend in the hospital. And she basically told him that something was coming and that she wasn't going to be here when it came. She had something else to go and do. And who she was telling was Asha Mir. Obviously, you know, they got him out of the Pyramidium and he had the Vex thing and a little bit messed up. And she was telling him about the Red War. She knew the Red War was coming. But she couldn't be there because of this that she was doing now. So when you went to D2 and you met Asha Mir, I read the lore and everything because I love a bit of lore. I think it's on the bond, the mark and the cloak, that it's the letter that Asha Mir read, the letter that Asha Mir wrote back to Eris Morn, because Eris had wrote a letter to him asking him if he'd ever heard the name Nokris. Well, Nokris is in D1. Nokris is one of the statues outside the, I can't remember them, it wasn't genocide, it was something like that. The last mission of the Taken King where you went and fought him, and at the end Eris come and took the crystal out of his sword. Well, as you're making your way in there, there's 3 statues, Crota, Oryx and Nokris. So my kind of thing with D2 is there is very little lore in D2 that has been created in D2. We're still following the universe from D1. I have no issue with that. I have no issue of following D1's lore. I just don't think we're creating new lore. Well, I suppose the Scorn, the Scorn, Dreaming City, Suppose there is a little bit of new lore, but I still feel like there's loads of questions that need unanswered, and some of the questions that they have answered have been answered so poorly that it doesn't even feel like an answer. The stranger, finding that the stranger was just Anna Bray's sister, as a way of sweeping the stranger under the carpet. Oh yeah, no, the stranger, that's Anna Bray's sister, yeah. Why is it that so many people and so many, why is it call our ghost Little Light? I mean, it's not a very common term really, but there are a few NPCs that call our ghost Little Light. You know, why is it we call, obviously the Traveller, we call it the Traveller, and yet nearly every other race calls it the Great Machine? Machine meaning somebody made it. All these little, I mean, that's for the future. I think we'll find out what the darkness, if it's the darkness, if it's this next race called the Veil, what their connection is with the Traveller. Did they actually create the Traveller? I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that for so long. Why they were chosen? Were we predestined to be? Yeah, Eric, that's exactly why they done that with the Traveller, but I feel that was like token gesture for one of the most iconic characters. Iconic because of the lack of involvement in the storylines. So what we saying? Do we know that next season revisits Warmind? I hadn't heard about that, but that sounds cool. So we revisit Warmind next season. There's speculation that the season after Dreaming City. Oh, did they really? Okay. Well, you understand what the Dreaming City is, though, don't you? You understand its purpose within the Destiny universe. Dreaming City is very specific for something. If you imagine the Dreaming City is the battery that powers Savathun, and we've been powering Savathun for the whole time we've been there. It was almost like, so there was like a new age kind of AI called Medusa that was sending us messages in the lore book Truth to Power, pretended to be Eris Morn, but it wasn't really Eris Morn, it was this new age AI. And I'm wondering whether, yeah, Savathun has been feeding off the 3-week cycle. So basically, it's like sword logic, you know. Thrall, kill, and they feed the acolytes. Acolytes kill, and they feed the knights. Knights to the wizards. Wizards. It was to Oryx. Now it's Savathun. And Savathun used... She took Riven, but before she took Riven, this was her wish, to create a 3-week cycle loop that would be constant combat for 3 weeks that you couldn't stop, and all that fighting just is feeding her and feeding her armies. Obviously, Dallakaru, which is the boss in Dreaming in the Shattered Throne, is Savathun's daughter, and it would have been even better. You remember that thing they done with this? I don't know if anybody remembers it. There was a bug with the Shattered Throne emblem where it didn't track how many times you'd sold it, how many times you completed it, sorry, because people thought to start with, because you can't kill Dala Karu, because in 3 weeks' time she'll be back. You know, and people just explained it like, and it turned out it was just a bug with the emblem. It would have been better if it had always stayed 0, because you can't win that fight. That would have been much better. But I think Savathun's going to be the big bad, and I think she's going to be maybe a raid boss in D3. I think again, you have to. This is the way I think they think. These big things, they never lead off big seasons, because there's still, just to go back to what Eric said, we still have some things that need answers to, which is correct. And one of the things that I want to know 100%, where's the Queen? Has her plan, which she started, this plan she started all the way back in the Taken King, you know, this plan was set in motion all the way back in the Taken King. That's why she said this was all part of the plan. And then Oryx, sword down, I am mighty. And I'll tell you where she is, Eric. When she done that, when Oryx went bang and fired his big weapon off, he killed her. But because of the way he killed her, she was taken into his realm, where she existed kind of like Toland. Except because she's more powerful than Toland, she has more control over her soul. Her idea was, she gets taken and she enters into... Oryx done that, but that was what she wanted. She wanted Oryx to do it. So she got taken into his throne world. While she was in his throne world, the idea was she had tasked Eris, because Eris is part of the Hidden, which is like a group of a band of informants that pass information backwards and forwards to each other. You've got the Queen, you've got Eris Morn, you've got obviously Akora. She's one of I think she's the leader of the Hidden, but they all share information backwards and forwards. Well, what she wanted when she got taken, because you can only take the throne from inside the throne room, from the throne world. So when she got taken into the Ascendant throne, into their realm, while she was in there, we were supposed to, as we did, kill Oryx to free up the throne room for her to take, so that she would become all powerful. And while she's been wandering about, so here's the thing. So many of you guys have probably done the 9 missions. The 9 have got a bigger part to play in this. The 9 are shady as anything. In fact, the Red War would never have happened if the 9 hadn't have helped the Cabal get to us. You know, they basically blinded all of our deep space scans and satellites and communication devices. They blinded us totally, so the Cabal could just rock up on our front doorstep. That was the 9 that done that, because they wanted to see if anybody could take the light, because they are like omnipotent. They're not quite. They can't really affect things in our realm physically, you know, even though they managed to do that blinding thing, but that's more suggestion, and you know, they can't really come and exist in our realm, but if they had the light they might be able to. So they wanted to see if it was possible to take the light, because if it was, they were going to do it. And what I find strange about that whole story is, he actually did steal the light, and yet Ashamir says you can't steal the light. We try in missions. Yeah. But I just feel like there was a bigger story at play with that whole, the whole Dreaming City thing. It doesn't seem kind of weird. It doesn't seem as if we got everything we needed from it. Because A, the curse cycle still continues. B, we were being told by multiple sources to send all the Guardians there because that's where they were needed. And yet, the whole idea of that curse cycle is the more combat and more violence and more war there is, the more we're feeding Savathun. So, the people that were telling us to go there must have... The 15th wish. Yeah, I think Bungie will keep that under wraps for a little bit longer because it's gonna, you know, because Forsaken was such a grandiose year and it really did save Destiny 2, it elevated it. People are going to be really interested when that comes out, but that can't just be another 15th wish. Oh yeah, there's an emblem. Yes, I've got the 15th wish. There's a shader. That needs to be something. That needs to, maybe the 15th wish will start off the next 0 hour style quest. That would be cool. That would be really cool. If you needed to find a code or something to be able to start that mission, that would be cool. That would galvanate what I feel like. I feel like the community this year is going to be a little bit shortchanged this year. I feel that there was tons of little things to do, and even the stuff that isn't little, like the grindy stuff, I don't think any of it's actually worth the grind that you put in. If you take it when you done 21% delirium, that was a proper grind. But look at the gun you got. Can you say the same about, you know, I mean, it's almost a bigger grind to get Ariana's Vows Catalyst. That's ridiculous, the amount of grind to get that Catalyst. You know, alright, it's not so bad to get Edgewise or Python, but to be fair, it shouldn't be because they're rubbish. And that's it. I'm so underwhelmed that Bungie decided to remove pinnacle weapons out of the game. I think it's one of the worst decisions they've ever made. Yeah, I haven't got the Catalyst. I'm very close to it on Xbox now, but I haven't got it yet. I will have it. It shall be mine. They should bring Pinnacles back to the game. Nothing will change my mind that the reason Pinnacles were removed from the game lies solely at the feet of Not Forgotten and Luna. That is why Pinnacles got removed. And it shouldn't have been. They made those weapons easy enough to get this year because of the changes to competitive. Well, Recluse wasn't as difficult to get. Mountaintop I would have included in there, but I still think it's Luna and Not Forgotten. Recluse wasn't so difficult to get because when they made the change to comp, where getting to Fabled is like it's not what it was. You could get the wins in quick play, so you could already have had the 100% wins. Getting to Fabled, I know people who I would not consider very good Crucible players who hit Fabled on their own. It's nowhere near as difficult to do. So once everybody had the Recluse, they nerfed it. They gave everybody a chance with it, and then they nerfed it. When they made the changes to Luna and Not Forgotten, those things were still strong. And the reason why I say Luna and Not Forgotten is because whereas SMGs, it is a skill to use them, right? It literally is. For people that were using it, they could be shotgunned out of it, right? But using a hand cannon, you, if you play the angles and you play the map right, if you've got a hand cannon, I mean, they dropped it from a 180 to a 150. It didn't seem to change it that much. It's still, I mean, I regularly outgun spare rations with it. Regularly. And I haven't even got Not Forgotten yet. You know? The fact that they made such high-level PvP players, good PvP players, use hand cannons probably exclusively in Crucible. They will test other weapons and use other weapons, but the try-hard weapon will be a hand cannon. So when you've got that, and not everybody's comfortable using hand cannons, but when you're going up against a fire team with other people using hand cannons, it's a bad day. It can be a very bad day if they're good players. If you get good SMG players, you can still shotgun them out of it because they've got to get that sort of range. Whereas, right, so that's the first thing. So Luna gave players an unfair advantage because you had to already be specifically good with a hand cannon. Now you were given something that could outgun everything else. Then you had the Not Forgotten, which was an elitist weapon because you had to hit legend to get it, which is not easy at all. But once you get it, you've got Luna with double range. For someone that's decent with a hand cannon, you take every other pinnacle. I mean, Mountaintop's a very good weapon, but for a long time, it was a PvE weapon. It wasn't really considered as a PvP weapon. Recluse was probably in the top 5 PvE weapons. That's where I had the problem, was they locked all the best PvE weapons in PvP. But Luna and Not Forgotten, definitely they create a skill gap that's difficult to attain to start with because not everybody's comfortable using a hand cannon. So when you get it, it's like if you're running about with a, I don't even want to say the name of it. It just kills me. If you're using a specific fusion rifle, we all know I'm talking about the Air and Tail, with the right perks, that gun creates a skill gap. Any weapon that creates a skill gap shouldn't create a skill gap. So the first thing is the Luna was, you know, it's a niche weapon because not everybody uses hand cannons in Crucible, but if you do, this is going to help you outgun nearly everything else you can come up against. Then you had Not Forgotten. 2, it was taking the place of exotics, and Bungie didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that 21% Delirium was seeing a lot more usage than Thunderlord. Thunderlord's a better heavy machine gun. I mean, its ad clearing abilities are as insane with that chained electricity. But once you get killing tally times 3, the 21% Delirium not only can it mow through enemies, but it'll also auto reload. Literally just pick up heavy straight into the mag. It just, what it done, you're correct there, son, but what it, another thing that it done was, again, it took the place of Jotun. Jotun is yeah. Don't start with the Jotun. It gave players, as you've just said, I mean, I can't add any more to that. But what it done was, as I say, and as I've already said, stuff like 21% Delirium, Mountaintop, which, to be fair, right, so I don't know if any of you guys seen, I made a video quite some time ago of soloing the Bad Juju mission. that mission for me showed how super dependent people had became on the mountaintop, because I literally think I was the only run I'd seen out of a few of my mates, no, not mates, but acquaintances had done runs on it, and streamers had done them, and everybody used the mountaintop. I think I went in there with a rocket launcher and a scout rifle, a pulse rifle, and a shotgun. And I didn't have the mountaintop at the time, but it was like, that's overkill. You know, the mountaintop became the must-have weapon for solos. You know, now I have used it in a solo video. Maybe one, maybe two, max. I actually enjoy using it. I just don't... It's the same as you've never seen me use the 1K voices in a video. Because I know it's not a weapon a ton of people have, so I won't use it. You know, they take the place of exotics, and Bungie just don't like that. But what they've... I would be asking myself, if I was Bungie, why are people want to use legendaries instead of exotics? I think, you know, we've had good exotics. I think Lee said it. I think the Jotun's actually a really good exotic. When I'm not being killed from the back of a Crucible map with it, but I think Izanagi's Burden, a very good exotic. You know, there's a lot of really good exotics. But I think having legendaries like the Pinnacles, they give you other options. I don't think an exotic should be the only option for a high-end DPS. You know, and then again, that shouldn't even be a reason, because probably the highest DPS we could do with a heavy before was Swarm of the Raven, with spike nades and boss spec. Now it's Love and Death with full court spike nades and boss spec. If you have that on a grenade launcher, that is the most DPS you can do with a heavy in the game. It's crazy. You know, that single hit DPS, we're not talking about coupling it with something else, because you could probably say Anarchy could probably take that spot. But that is my end of stream. All of it? Desert. I'll tell you what to do. Once I've finished the stream, you can always go back and listen to that one again. So, end of stream. The grenade launcher. So it's called Love and Death. It's Erismon's grenade launcher. And you can get it with spike nades, which increases the damage on direct hits. And then it comes with a perk called Full Court. So FULLCOURT, Full Court. And that increases the damage that the grenade launcher does, depending on how far away you are from the enemy. So if you're fighting a boss, you're going to be mid-range. It's quite a big increase. It's, I don't know, 20-30% it can increase to. So if you put spike nades and a boss spec on it, you're looking at the same sort of gains you would get, not far away from the same gains you would get from the Wendigo with the, you know, 6 orbs, 6 powered shots. Yeah, that's the type of, but you're doing that for the whole mag, the whole, you know, 16 rounds. It's a 150 RPM, so it's one of the fastest firing grenade launchers in the game. It's just about as good as you can get. And literally, Anybody that wants to test it, just go to the, you want to test your DPS, just go to the tribute hall. Thanks, Desert Man. I appreciate that. I try and give you guys the good stuff, you know. My stuff is never going to be about you guys watching me and saying, oh, he's quite a good player. I'm always going to try and feed you guys with those little tidbits of information that make the difference. So guys, I'm going to end the stream there. I've had a ton of fun. It's nice to see some returning faces, some familiar faces, and some new faces. Some new names in the chat. I hope this isn't the last time I see you guys. Is this where I do my YouTube thing? I think this is probably where I do my YouTube thing. If you haven't already, think about subbing to the channel. And I'm going to say this because it's something that I'm interested in. If you guys are subscribed to me, remember to put on, remember to click on notifications. It does help a lot. Just to give you guys an idea of the algorithm. When I release a video, if you guys get notified about it and you maybe switch on for like a minute, it registers a view, which basically tells the more people that do that, YouTube basically says, oh, people want to see this video, let's get it out there. So I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying if you've got notifications on, then you never miss a video. Right, guys, thank you very much for stopping by. To you guys that are leaving, take it easy. Thanks a lot for being in the stream. I will 100% be streaming on Tuesday. So we'll get back to that Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. So I hope to see you guys then. Take it easy. Thanks a lot for supporting me and coming out and getting involved in the chat. And I will see you guys on Tuesday.